Hello everyone. Our topic for the blog is silverwares and types of silverwares. Let's go. Silverware. What is silverware? Silverware is any metal spoons, knives, forks, and other utensils that you use to eat, or tableware dishes, serving pieces that are made of or coated with silver. The metal forks, spoons, and knives that you keep in a drawer in the kitchen and use to eat your meal is an example of silverware. What is salad fork? Salad fork is a small fork used for eating salads. It is approximately 6 inches long and its tines are broader and flatter compared to the rest of the other forks on the table. These tines provide leverage when cutting through large vegetables and lettuce leaves. Salad forks are used in formal and informal dinners. It's just an appetizer to those who eat a salad, like lettuce and other vegetables. The next one is dinner fork. What is the difference between dinner fork and salad fork? Salad fork is used for only eating salad, and the dinner fork is used for eating main courses dishes like pork and the dinner fork and salad fork are both 4 tines, but the salad fork is much thicker in the outside because it is used for cutting lettuce to easy cut lettuce and vegetables. Now, let's go to the dessert fork. What is dessert fork? This allows the user to hold the plate in the left hand and cut through pastry with the left edge. The dessert fork may be placed above the dinner plate, or it may be brought to the table when dessert is served. This is one of my favorite fork and silverware because it is used to cut pastry like cake, bread, and used to serve or to eat the cake. The next is oyster. What is oyster fork? Oyster fork, the narrow fork with 3 tines. This fork, also called a seafood or cocktail fork. It is used for handling shellfish or for picking up shrimp from a shrimp cocktail. It can remove claw or tail meat from the lobster, although a longer and even narrower lobster pick is often used. As I said, this oyster fork used for seafoods. From the shell, getting the best part to eat the best part of the shell, and for the shrimp to get the shell part or the skin, and for the lobster to cut the tail. This is salad and a dessert oyster fork looks like. The first four we discuss about is forks, and now let's go to the knife. First one is table knife. What is table knife? Table knife is a single cutting edge and the blunt end part of a table setting. Table knives are typically of moderate sharpness, only designed to cut, prepare, and cook food. I don't know about this everywhere, the types of knives, but for me this table knife is used for all around dishes. I don't know much, these knives, I don't know much about these knives, table knife, but for me it's used for all around, not no specific food. I guess it can use for cutting prepared food or dishes. This is table knife looks like. The next is butter knife. What is butter knife? butter knife is a sharp-pointed, dull-edged knife, often with a saber shape used only to serve out pats of butter from a central butter dish to individual dinner's plate. If no butter spreader provided, a dinner knife may be used as an alternative. As I said earlier, I don't know much about table knives, butter knife, but it is looks like, but the butter knife is just a little small from the other one, the table knife. The table knife is used also for butter spreader, as I said earlier. This is butter knife looks like. The next is steak knives. What is steak knife? Steak knives are sharp table knives that are used for cutting steak. They often come with a wooden handle and serrated blade. Steak knives are the only sharp knife that you'll find in a modern kitchen table. You'll want to use a steak knife when you're eating finer meats. As I said, steak knives used for cutting steak or meat by its name steak. Of course, where people loves to eat meat and steak, ground meat like that. That's why steak knives must be so sharp to easy cut those steak or meat. This steak knives looks like. And the next is dessert knife. What is dessert knife? Dessert knife is used for cutting desserts and also you can use for cutting fruits. The other one is dessert fork. The dessert fork is you can use for eating purposes. Like after you cut the dessert by using dessert knife, you can use the dessert fork for to help you to eat. And also it is accompanied by the dessert spoon and I will discuss it later. This is dessert knife looks like. And now let's go to the spoon types. First one is teaspoon. What is teaspoon and what is it is purposes? A teaspoon is a small spoon suitable for stirring and sipping the cup of tea or coffee or adding a portion of sugar to it. These spoons have heads more or less oval in shape. Teaspoons are a common part of a silverware. Of course, we have teaspoon in our house used for stirring coffee, tea, and adding sugar or mixing or measuring the sugar to our coffee. Uh, the next is tablespoon. The tablespoon is similar to teaspoon, but this tablespoon is much bigger than teaspoon because tablespoon is also can use for eating purposes. It's also used for serving or eating, and also you can use it for measuring volume of any cooking activity. The next is dessert spoon. We know the other types is spoon, knives, forks, and now the spoon. These three is works together when you cut the dessert by using dessert knife, you can use forks or spoon to eat the dessert and to serve. The next is soup spoon. As the name itself, soup spoon used for consuming soup. It is a type spoon with a large or rounded bowl so that you can get soup as much as possible. I remember this from the lesson from Sir Raymond that when you use soup spoon, you go forward. You go forward, not backward, because sometimes when you get accident accident or by hitting by others. Your elbow. Uh, when you go backward, it is possible that the soup will spill out to your clothes or suit. But when you go forward and accidentally hitting your elbow, the the soup will not spill out through your suit or clothes. For our vlog. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned from my discussion. Thank you very much. Goodbye.